1:15 p.m. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Catherine Pereira and read by Geethanjali Ranamanayaka. The Prime Minister to present a draft roadmap to Parliament to overcome the economic crisis. The chairman of the Petroleum Corporation says that a speedy solution will be provided to the current fuel shortage in the country. The United States supports to uplift the dairy farmers in the country. It has been stated that there will not be a rice shortage in the country. Government investments will be increased for the local industries. In foreign news, British Prime Minister Boris Johnson's ethics advisor resigns. News in detail. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe states that a proposed roadmap to overcome the current economic crisis will be presented to Parliament in the near future. The Prime Minister last evening met with the members of the Parliament in order to brief them on the current economic situation. The Secretary to the Ministry of Finance, Mahinda Siriwardana, led the presentation with a breakdown of the current economic crisis and the short-term and medium-term goals of the government. Following the presentation, a discussion was held with the MPs on possible methods that could be used to mitigate the economic disaster, Prime Minister's media division said. The Prime Minister explained that a draft roadmap would be presented to Parliament, which would allow the members of Parliament to present their ideas before finalising it. Members of Parliament Dr. Harsha De Silva, Eran Wickramaratne, Kumara Welgama, Rauf Hakim, Rishaz Baduddin, Ali Sabri, Anupriya Shanayapa, Shah Teherat and many others were present at the discussion. The chairman of the Petroleum Corporation, Mohammed Uwais, says that a speedy solution will be provided to the current fuel shortage in the country. At present, the fuel price in the world market has increased by fourfold. The fuel importation can be limited under such prices. Measures have been taken to distribute and issue fuel in a special systematic manner. He said that the support of the people is needed for it. He stated that information on the filling stations that provide fuel on Saturday will be published on the Facebook page of the Institute. He also requests the public to use fuel sparingly. Most of the European countries are facing fuel crisis, and the public as well as the public representatives of those countries are following an alternative method to maintain their daily routine activities. Therefore, the people should be encouraged to use alternative methods in order to maintain their daily activities. The United States has agreed to provide required support to uplift the dairy farmers in the country. The objective of this move is to increase the dairy production and to enhance the income of dairy farmers. Secretary to the Ministry of Agriculture, Rohana Pushpakumara, said that the relevant agreement was signed recently. Milk powder will not be imported due to the dollar problem faced by the country, but milk powder production is carried out locally. However, it's not sufficient to meet the local demand. The Secretary also pointed out that the grant provided by the US that should not be repaid is more appreciable at this crucial juncture. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The owner of the new Ratna rice mill, LJ Mitrapala, says that there will not be a rice shortage in the country by any means. He said rice is being issued to the market daily after producing it. Therefore, they requested the public not to store excess rice. He also stated that the program to import rice is being implemented, so the people should not have an unwanted fear in this regard. Harvesting of paddy will start for many areas during the next few months. There's high demand for rice in the market, and measures have been taken to provide rice to the market continuously. Minister Ramesh Patrana says that the government investment to be increased for local industries through the Lanka Industrial Development Board. The objective of this program is to take the industrial sector to the international level. Opportunities for local industrialists will also be enhanced to compete with the international market in the future. He made these remarks when he was at an observation tour at the Industrial Development Board. The police say that another suspect has been arrested over the killing of MP Amarakirti Atukorala and his security officer on May 9th. This brings the total number of suspects arrested over the incident to 31, police spokesman SSP Nihal Taldua said. The late SLBC parliamentarian and the police sergeant attached to his security detail were killed in a mob attack amidst the nationwide unrest on the 9th of May. And that ends local news for now.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
In the main news story, Commandant of the Bangladesh Defence Services Command and Staff College, Major General Ibn Fazal Sheikh Usman made a call on the Defence Secretary General Kamal Gunratna at the Defence Headquarters Complex in Sri Javadhanpur Kotte yesterday. During the cordial discussion, Major General Sheikh Usman, praising the efforts of the Sri Lankan Defence Services, commended the Staff College DSC and said that it has a conducive environment for learning and training of future military leaders. And that was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Sidhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Moving on to Watchlight, a special operation mounted by Sri Lanka Navy in the Eastern Seas has led to the apprehension of 64 persons who were suspected to be attempting illegally migrate from the country via sea routes. Among the apprehended individuals were 50 males, including 7 persons involved in the racket, 11 females and 3 children. The Sri Lanka Navy urges the public to avoid being convicted before the law by being caught in the trap of smugglers who persuade the innocent to engage in illegal and perilous sea voyages to migrate from the island. And that was Watchlight. Moving on to Bulletin of World News. In the headlines, British Prime Minister Boris Johnson's ethics advisor resigns, remembering the abandoned Indian nannies of London. Rich nations accused of betrayal at Bonn talks. World news in detail. The British Prime Minister's ethics advisor has quit a day after saying there was a legitimate question about whether Boris Johnson broke ministerial rules over Partygate. Lord Guide did not give a reason for leaving the role he took in April, but said it was the right thing to do. His predecessor, Sir Alex Allen, quit in 2020 after Mr. Johnson overruled him over a report into alleged bullying by Home Secretary Priti Patel. The government said it was surprised by Lord Guide's decision. During the heyday of the British Empire, thousands of women from India and other parts of Asia were brought to London to look after young children, but many of these nannies were later abandoned and left to fend for themselves. Now a building in London which housed them is said to be commemorated with a blue plaque. The Blue Plaque scheme, run by the UK charity English Heritage, honours buildings across London that have been closely associated with important historical figures. Climate talks in Bonn headed into their final day with rich nations accused of betraying the developing world. Poorer countries say that at COP26, they were promised that their key demand on loss and damage would be honoured this year. They believe that new finance facility to pay for the impacts of climate change that they can't adapt to would be set up. But in Bonn, they say the issue has been sidelined by the US and Europe. For many participants, loss and damage has become the key issue in the global climate negotiations. Back to the headlines of the world news. The British Prime Minister Boris Johnson's ethics advisor resigns, remembering the abandoned Indian nannies of London. Rich nations accused of betrayal at Bonn talks. And that ends World News. Moving on to development news. New health treatment hospital of Mawela Balanguda will be vested with the public. 15 million rupees have been allocated for the construction of the hospital. Around 4,000 families in several villages in the area will be benefited from this project. And that was development news.
Sports news is brought to you by
Sampath Bank. We present your future.
Today is the third day of the match played between the Australia A team and Sri Lanka A team in Hambantota. Australia A team scored 379 runs in their first innings and Sri Lanka A team scored 274 runs in their first innings. In the second innings, Australia A team scored 92 runs for 3 wickets. The second ODI between Sri Lanka and Australia will be played today. The match will be played as a day and night game at the Pallekele International Cricket Stadium. The match will begin at 2:30 p.m. Australia won the T20 series and the first ODI match by 2 wickets. SLBC is ready to bring live commentaries of the match. And that was sports news.
Cash through NSP globally and win wonderful gifts locally. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSB U Trust.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Ceylon Bank, the bank with a heart, announced yet another convenience to its credit card holders by way of an easy payment plans for insurance payments. Through its partnership with several leading insurance service providers, the easy payment plans aim to facilitate improved cash flow management for customers who own general and life insurance policies. And that was Business News.
Business News, sponsored by
Cash through NSP globally and win wonderful gifts locally. Will you be the lucky winner of the NSP Golden Jubilee? 50 gold sovereigns for the top prize winner of the NSP Golden Jubilee. Scooters for the 10 second prize winners. iPhones for the 10 third prize winners. Mountain bikes for the 29 fourth prize winners. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSB U Trust.
Economic news, courtesy of...
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act No. 42 of 2011.
The commanding officer of the Police Special Task Force, DIG Varuna Jayasundara, says that the organic fertilizer program initiated by the task force has shown advanced success. All cultivation activities are carried out on the contribution of the officials of Special Task Force camps in the island. And that was economic news.
LOLC Finance is taking the power of innovation to the next level, winning 5 golds at the Technovation Awards 2022, leading the digital revolution with cutting-edge interbanking digital payments. LOLC Finance claims the overall gold award whilst also claiming an extraordinary victory in digital banking. LOLC Finance will continue to innovate with the next generation digitalization of financial services, delivering a superior customer experience.
In the weather report, the Met Department says that showery condition over the southwestern part of the island, western and Sabaragamu provinces and in the Galle and Matra districts is expected to enhance during tomorrow and the day after tomorrow. Showers or thunder showers will occur at times in the western and Sabaragamu provinces and in the Galle and Matra districts. Heavy showers above 100 millimeters can be expected at some places in these areas. Showers or thunder showers will occur at several places elsewhere, particularly during the afternoon or night. Fairly heavy showers above 50 millimeters can be expected at some places in these areas. That was the weather report, and to end this news broadcast, let's take a look at the headlines again. The Prime Minister to present a draft roadmap to Parliament to overcome the economic crisis. The chairman of the Petroleum Corporation says that a speedy solution will be provided to the current fuel shortage in the country. The United States supports to uplift the dairy farmers in the country. It has been stated that there will not be a rice shortage in the country. Government investments will be increased for the local industries. Foreign news, British Prime Minister Boris Johnson's ethics advisor resigns. And with that, we end this news broadcast from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.